Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night. We took a week off. It's your old buddy John and Tom One Thumb Renzulli, who's had quite an eventful week. We have some cool guests tonight. I'm pretty excited. We're both outdoors in our backyard.
Enjoying the weather.
Mrs. Beer Scene is right over there, and I saw Karen coming out throwing frisbees or something earlier.
Yes, with a new puppy.
Got a new puppy, a new Great Dane.
Yep.
Your buck is passed.
Yes, and, last year it was time. It was time to get another one.
So
this one's Hooper. Hooper drives the boat, Chief.
And my first question was, did you name it after that really cool Burt Reynolds stuntman movie from 1977?
Right.
You know, you can back that up.
Yeah.
Real quick. So Tom, we want to talk about building dog houses. Let's give us some do's and don'ts about building dog houses.
Well, I got a don't right there.
Hold on, let me put you on the big screen. There you go. Let's put Tom on the big screen. There you go. That's why you don't. There you go.
That's right. Your thumbs up.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do that. But, I told Mike Geller I swore that we wouldn't do that, but we did it, and it's okay. So Tom is okay.
I'm fine.
He's bionic. He has a bionic arm from the elbow down on that side. So
God has blessed me with a high threshold of pain and quick healing, which is great because I'm pretty accident prone.
And you were the talk of the ER.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Alvin Cintron's telling us it's the same head, same background. Thanks, Alvin.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So we have some cool guests on tonight, and we're a beer website. But one of the businesses that we really love that does tons with the beer community and was born of the beer community, a lot of it, is a Little Water Distillery. And Guy Zompa's here with us. And I have our friend Mike Geller from 3's. So boys, welcome to South Jersey Beer Scene Live. South Jersey Beer and Distillery Scene Live. I've had just a little bit of old fashioned. I already can't talk. Nice. Hey boys, what's happening, guys?
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, John.
So, for those of you who don't know, Mike Geller is the owner and creative director.
Sure.
And what else?
Janitorial quality control. That's my title.
He does all that. And Guy is one of the partners, one of the owners at the distillery.
Owner, director of operations, and second janitor.
So if you guys look anywhere on social media, these two guys, you'll see them everywhere. And Mark Ganter, who was going to be with us tonight, he's out busy delivering whiskey and vodka and everything that needs to be done. So he's a little late. So we get Guy. It's not really a replacement because I think I've done more stuff with Guy than just about anybody, doing Gary Monteroso's show and stuff like that. And Guy started in this business as producing Gary's show, I think.
Yeah, I started doing Still Crazy After All These Beers 10 years ago when people watched stuff like that. And then I started working for some different breweries for distributor, and then hopped into Little Water Distillery right when we opened.
So one of the themes that we've been talking about as we've done these Tuesday night shows is, what are you guys doing? What did you do? So let's go to Mike first because we're going to go to the beer part of it. So Mike, on March 15th or March 16th, everything gets shut down.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that you do?
So there's this really cool website or Facebook group called Craft Beer Professionals, and it's just a conglomerate of people in the industry kind of chatting across the country. So we got hooked up with these guys that formed this company called Beer Me, which hosts an awesome online presence for curbside, for delivery. It's all set up for us. So we pivoted there, and that's been immense for us. The support's been awesome from the community. So that was kind of step one. And step two is something that I don't think any of us had anything to do with, but one of our locals kind of set up this South Jersey brewery bracket thing right in the same time frame. So
Brian Kiefer, we had him on.
Brian Kiefer, yeah, that's right, he was on. So Brian sets up this awesome thing that kind of parallels and replaces March Madness, and I think the two of those working together, the ability of people to order and be contactless and be safe, paired with breweries battling online and all of us being friends in the background, kind of helped us stay afloat and give us a direction. Kind of formed for us.
And then Guy, you guys had a little bit of a different route. I mean, you guys went to curbside and did a really good job, but you filled an actual medical need at Little Water, which was amazing. So tell us a little bit about your journey of what happened with you guys when this all started.
So that last weekend was St. Pat's weekend, which is usually a huge weekend in Atlantic City. That's like
Bag Day and yeah.
Oh, Parade Day is a huge thing. That's like our Mardi Gras. You know what I mean? So that was very reserved. And for that first 2 weeks or so, we did curbside, and there was some confusion where drinks to go were allowed, they weren't allowed, they were allowed. Delivery was allowed, it wasn't allowed, it wasn't allowed. So we just kind of went to it, and then this came up with hand sanitizer and distilleries being allowed to. We were released by the federal government to officially make hand sanitizer. They waived the medical requirements for a medical grade facility for temporary. First, it was to August. They just recently have extended that to December. So we have till December now to make hand sanitizer. And it's been a huge thing for us. On a good day, we would bottle like 200, 300 bottles of whiskey. Right now, we're set up to do 1,500 an hour. And
wow.
That's what we're going to need over the next 2 weeks to get these next couple orders out.
Yeah. And, you'll never say this, but you guys gave a ton of that hand sanitizer away. I mean, you guys really did.
Could. It's our vodka at double strength. So if you can imagine giving away, 8,000 gallons of vodka, we're a small business. We're not set up for that. Mm-hmm. So we did, but we still do every Friday and Saturday at the distillery. We still do give away hand sanitizer in small quantities. And just started recently doing branching out to selling to consumers and small businesses, because we fulfilled all our Office of Emergency Management, police, fire, first responder contracts, and now we're just getting into business consumer.
As somebody in healthcare, I mean, it was crazy. And I reached out to you. We were able to source some through our corporate office. But I mean, I was reaching out to Guy. I have, we couldn't get it. And I work for a huge corporation, and you guys are right there on the spot if we needed it. But I knew that you guys had other people that were doing that. And I know I was just one of those things that was amazing to see this community, which Little Water is a huge part of this beer community.
We're trying.
Well, you are. I mean, Tom and I talk about this often. We go to a lot of events, and I can't tell you how many events we go to where you and Mark, or you or Mark, or somebody from Little Water is there representing and partnering with the beer community. So we commend you with that. We feel like, in the beer community, you're part of that community.
And so I'm going to piggyback off that for 2 seconds. Hey, Jordan, this is like old VH1 pop-up videos of people.
Yeah.
Right.
So Mike, I want to give a shout out to Mike, because day one, when we started doing this, somebody reached out and they said, "You have no idea what you just started and unleashed." And oh my God, were they right? I mean, I felt like John Henderson the week before Beer Fest. I was getting phone calls from friends of friends, and my cousin's brother knows you. And we were really short on packaging, and sourcing, and because we're not set up for this. I didn't grow up as a small child in Atlantic City, Negrappa Township, to own a hand sanitizer company. But Mike was awesome, and 3's, folks, 3's were super great in helping us get boxes and packaging, put us in contact with different folks with case trays and stuff like that. And it was a huge thing. And we have got great lifelong bond now because of how 3's was able to support us.
Yeah. And you guys we have some stuff that we're going to talk about a little bit later. That's kind of a synergy from that relationship that we'll get into. Mike, one of the things that happened right away, and then it didn't happen, and Guy was talking about as well, was home deliveries. Now, for those of you who don't know, the ABC rules in New Jersey are just awful. So Guy is governed by a different set of rules than Mike is, than the wineries are. So it's just very convoluted. So
the wineries don't have rules.
No, I know they're part of they're
and
part
the meaderies don't either.
Yeah,
but I mean, so we get this edict that comes out from King Phil that says we're allowed to deliver. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to say that, but Mike and I were talking earlier. I'm kind of joking. That we were allowed to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were never thought in a million years you'd be allowed to deliver. So what do you do?
It's strange. The first thing we did was kind of reach out to the ABC, because we work with a distributor rather than a lot of breweries in New Jersey self-distribute. So we don't have any vehicles even registered to carry product and from A to B. So step one was certainly getting that in order. And then, we didn't have a system set up to take orders. So we were taking orders by email, and it's just terrible trying to juggle, everything else coming in with email with, ABC regulations and state regulations and federal regulations and funding and not funding and closures and not closures. So it was just a kind of a conglomerate of terribleness. And through that, we hooked up with that Beer Me group that I talked about earlier, and that kind of streamlined our one platform for curbside for delivery. And that was sort of our lifeline. And those guys did an awesome thing. They donated their platform that they had developed for their own company down in, I think it's Virginia, to the entire beer, wine, spirit, any community that wanted to use it. They made it freely available to us, and we can't be thankful enough to them.
So then you do that, and then 2 days later, they say you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a lot of phone calls from consumers. It's one thing to deal with it on the business end, but it's another thing to have a whole consumer base that doesn't understand the rules, doesn't know, and it's just frustrating. One day we can go deliver to them, we take their order, and the next day it says we can't deliver to them. What do we do there? We have to refund their money, and there's just all these terrible conversations that have to happen because the clarity and the communication just wasn't there. The rules just weren't clearly laid out to us, and the expectations weren't there. The guidance wasn't there. I understand the desire to react quickly to things, but I think the response just fell a little bit short.
And we can bring that to today. So today, the governor issues a graphic that says, Tom sends me the picture of the graphic, and Guy, we all saw it.
John, come on.
It said indoor with building and buildings 25, this and that, and nobody knew what the guidance was. Clearly, it wasn't meant towards breweries, bars, restaurants, distilleries, but the message is. So then Mike calls me, and he's like, "We don't know what this means." Like, I kind of knew what it meant because I knew
I'm in a building. It is a building.
I have a building. I have an occupancy capacity. Why can't I now have people inside?
Right. So
same with Guy.
And so, Guy, you get this message, and we're like, what does it even mean? We have no idea what it means. So,
yeah. I'm on the road all day today, and at least 10 people sent me that, the Facebook little post about, buildings. And then, are you going to be open? Are you going to be open Saturday? Like, I have, and that's why I saw Mike said something about it, and I said, I have no idea what this means. I really don't. I can't imagine a time where we're, following a set of rules that we don't know the rules, but if we don't follow those rules, you're going to get fined.
Yeah, and that's
pretty clear cut.
It's just a terrible way to operate a business. I think leadership, needs to be from the bottom up and the top down, and certainly there's a lack of that in the vacuum of New Jersey craft spirits and
small business in general.
I have a saying: the fish stinks from the head down.
And we're not even as fortunate as you guys, because we have one for every 8 or one for every 10. So when they put delivery back for you, that wasn't. We were like, oh, we're delivering. They're like, no, not you.
It makes no sense why. Basically our mission is the same. We produce some sort of alcohol for consumption and distribution. At the heart, whether you make wine, beer, mead, anything else, cider, anything I'm not thinking of right now, that's your mission, right? Is to get that out there. Why we operate under different laws and different rules and different regulations is beyond me. But at the end of the day, the result of that is a consumer base that doesn't understand the rules. They don't understand they can go to a winery and get food. They can come to a distillery and they have to do a tasting. They come to a brewery and it's kind of fair game. We can serve you whatever you want, but you can't have food and you have to get a tour first. Why there can't be a simple set of rules that anytime you go to a maker, this is what you must do, this is what you can expect. It just makes no sense to me.
Right. Nope.
And so for Little Water as a distillery, do you have to have a tour requirement? Is that so you have a tour requirement, and then it's kind of the same thing. But then when it comes to the delivery part, you were kept out of that. Yeah. You couldn't deliver it. It's crazy. Rob Callahan, Fun Bobby 2022. We were invited on a Florida Zoomcast like this for Brewery Strong, and when we started explaining this to them,
the rules of New Jersey,
they just laugh at you.
They thought we were making it up. I mean, these guys are like,
ahead.
wait a second. So you can make you have a brew pub and you have a brewery and they're all different, and then their head was like exploding. So all right. So look, Governor Murphy, I know you don't care for South Jersey beer scene because I called you out on the Anheuser-Busch thing, whatever. But but I think that some leadership would be great, and to have one set of rules that governs all the alcohol, like in every other state in the country, I think would be helpful. And to have small businesses that don't have to explain to their consumers why those rules don't apply to them would be wonderful. So hopefully
And I don't think it's our job to explain the laws in this state. I think that's the government's job is to do that. And
to explain them to you, explain them to everybody, so we're understand why can I not go?
And make sense of it. Why can we gather in a group of 100 to worship or to protest, but we can't, and they can have food or they can do whatever they want there. There's not really rules around it. And I'm all for protesting. I think people should be able to stand up for their rights,
right,
regardless of what your beliefs are. But at the end of the day, why are we supporting that and not supporting small business that creates jobs in our state? Right now, our economy is basically shifting to bigger business. We're forgetting small business. Everything right now is designed for big businesses that have a cash cushion, that can pivot, that have these, avenues to funding behind them to make these decisions and have the staff. And we're forgetting the small guys that actually create jobs in our state. Forget other states. We create jobs in New Jersey. Guy's not employing people from Idaho. He's employing people from New Jersey. And, our base.
I think the one thing I'll say about this is I hope that one of the maybe few good things that comes out of this is that we take a good look at this. Maybe somebody over at the ABC and in the governor's office takes a nice, hard, long look at, what? People can have food and drink and not be crazy. And people can have a drink outside and they can have a beer on a patio that extends more than 7 feet from the front door. And life doesn't erode. 2-3 weeks ago, I tweeted, now would be a great time for Atlantic City to open up, open container on the boardwalk.
Container.
It's in Key West. And just yesterday that became a thing. So we're super happy about that. Not that it affects us, but our customers on the boardwalk can do that. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what will come from this, is that we have a good conversation about it.
Okay, so we're going to get out of politics and we're going to talk about product. So the first thing I want to talk about is today I went and saw my guy Jordan over at Circle Liquors, and I got one of my favorite beverages. I got the White Cap Old Fashioned Cocktail. That is one of the most unique cocktails that are out there. Guy brought it on. I did What's on Tap with Gary and Tara one day, and he brought it on for us to sample, and it's amazing. It's an old-fashioned cocktail in a bottle. So, Guy, when we talk about distilleries, we think whiskey, we think vodka, we think rum, we think gin, but we don't think about this kind of amazing concoction that you guys came up with. So talk to us a little bit about the thought process behind this drink and what you guys are doing over there, because you're very different than most distilleries.
So yeah, I can't take credit for that. That was Mark who would be here, who would definitely take credit for it if he was here.
If he was here.
Love you, buddy. That kind of came out of the idea that we wanted to do a cocktail, but not that we wanted a to-go cocktail. That's our number one drink at the distillery every week and week out when we used to have a distillery, was that everybody liked our old fashioned. They love our barrel aged old fashioned. We pre-mix the old fashioned. We throw it back into the bourbon barrel. We let it sit for a couple months, pull it out, and we serve it. And everybody loved it. And people kept saying, "I would love to take this home. I would love to take this home." And Mike can attest to how hard it is to get stuff approved sometimes. So we had to get the bottles approved. We had the labels approved. They didn't like the names. It's very misleading. So finally, which confuses the heck out of people, it's also named White Cap Old Fashioned. So it's our old fashioned that is pre-mixed and aged and then put in a bottle. And the funny thing is that, if we have, 6, 10,000 2-ounce bottles, 4-ounce bottles after the sanitizer thing's done, we might have 2-ounce, 4-ounce bottles of old fashioned to go to the beach with.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Guy.
Plastic bottles to go. But no, it's a great cocktail. I love it at home. I'm really lazy. When we're at the distillery, we're lighting stuff on fire and like muddling stuff. But when I'm home, I literally just want something on the rocks. And It's a nice drink, and James is our head distiller. That's his recipe.
It's smooth.
I had quite a few of them at Witchcraft.
Yeah, they'd sneak up on you.
I know. I kept going and talking to Guy, like, "Hey, Guy, what's going on? Hey, how about a little bit that's in that pitcher there?" But it's smooth. It has all the qualities of the old fashioned without sitting in front of the sink, muddling and dumping sugar and not making all the I don't have a professional bar in my home. It's fantastic. I love old fashions. It's one of my favorite things.
It's a gateway drink for beer lovers. Like, I started in the beer industry, and that's where my roots were. Definitely did it for a long time. And I always gravitated towards barrel-aged beers. And then when I couldn't get them, I would put a little bit of bourbon or whiskey in the beer to give it that flavor. And then I realized I just like bourbon as well. So I started drinking that. But like, it's a great, easy thing. Because I got home today and like, what's the first thing I want to do? I don't want to sit there and make a cocktail. I crack a beer. And that's the first thing I want, because I don't want to do any extra work. I've been working all day. So this was a nice thing. It's got a little bit of a market with bars in Atlantic City, or did, where people are ordering old fashions, 6, 7, 10. My brother's a bartender, and he's like, man, I would love to have this at my bar because I can just pour it and be done with it, charge $10, $11. And, the bottle at, I think wholesale is, sub $30.
Yeah. And it really is a fantastic drink. So Mike, so one of the things as a brewery owner, Guy has to keep, being innovative and stuff like that. So now you have to pivot. All your draft accounts are kind of gone, and now you're putting everything in cans, and you're still coming out with new releases.
We are.
So tell me about some of you've had some cool stuff come out. We had All Together come out, and your All Together was fantastic. It was a little bit of a West Coast take on it. It was awesome. We loved it. It was one of the best ones that we had. And you're still coming out with new stuff. So tell me, as a brewery owner, your margins are going away because you're can and everything, but you're still down. You're not sacrificing quality or your innovation. So
I don't think we can. I think our audience wants something new. They want something different. They, it's interesting. You look at the unemployment numbers and you see all that. And I see a lot of our market being people that are working, the people that are at home, and the people that are willing to invest their hard-earned money in us and in the craft movement, and they want us to be there for them on the other side of this, whether that's getting to come and enjoy our tap rooms or whatever that manifests in. So it's enabled us to kind of be creative and kind of do some really cool things, and All Together is certainly one of them. That was a staff favorite. Normally, it's funny. I had this conversation with my brother. I don't know the last time I drank an actually good beer from us that wasn't a short fill can. And, those disappeared faster than anything we've done, other than our Hellas Lager. Our Halfway to Hellas was something that was sort of like the brewer's beer that we all drank, but we got the opportunity to do that. So it's given us some freedom. We have something brand new coming out tomorrow that I'm very excited for. So it's a double dry hop version of our Escape from Reality double IPA.
Cool.
So by slowing down production and shifting things and doing some lagers, you end up with some extra hops. So why not throw more in one beer and make something cool?
Absolutely.
The other thing you end up with is extra beer. And
we do. It's an unfortunate side effect. We have this sort of system and that exists, and we deliver beer to a distributor, it goes to an account, and it's kind of planned months in advance of when beer needs to be there. And the unfortunate part about this whole COVID-19 thing is it kind of snuck up on us. We were humming along at business as usual, and all of a sudden a shutdown comes, and beer doesn't wait. That's a lot of the reason you hear brewers say we don't take days off and we work all the time. It's because the beer is ready when the beer is ready, and the beer is only good when the beer is only good. And so what that's creating is a lot of out-of-code beer. It's not bad. It's not going to infect anybody, but it certainly doesn't taste like we intended. And that's sort of one of the synergies that was born of this whole thing is we're working closely with Mark and Guy and the guys at Little Water and their whole Bierbuddies program. So they're able to take what becomes a product that isn't how we intended and turn it into a product that's super enjoyable for people. And it's just an awesome product. I think it provides a really unique experience, even for folks that aren't maybe huge craft beer drinkers and more tend towards liquors, and vice versa. People that enjoy the craft spirits but maybe aren't huge beer drinkers. So
Bierbuddies is a beer. Is it a schnapps or is it? How do you describe it, Guy?
So this might be a good time to bring in the center square. If you can, I think Mark actually is in.
Oh, is he in? Oh, there he is.
There we go.
Hey, he's all set up.
Yeah,
I've been here the whole time.
I didn't know you were there, Mark. I'm sorry. I have old eyes.
You guys are great. Sit back drinking beer. This is awesome.
Mark Ganter from Little Water has joined us here, guys and girls. So, how you doing, Mark?
Not bad, not bad. Running late as always.
That's all right. But I mean, so I see you have is that Bierbuddies I see there on your table there.
It randomly happened to be sitting here in the lineup. I didn't even know we were doing this. So I drink every night.
So we're gonna pivot to we're gonna pivot to you and let's talk about Bierbuddies. Tell me where it came from and and what do you do with it and how's it get made?
So I won't bore you with the full story, or maybe I will. So the whole history behind this distillery was a gift that we got my father for his 70th birthday. And when you come to this distillery, you'll see like above the bathroom on the wall is this 5-gallon copper pot still. And he turned 70 in 2013. My brother and I got him the still, and it just kind of spawned the idea of like maybe doing this professionally. And his gift back to us for his 70th birthday was just a family trip to Germany, where half the family still lives. We were in his town where his brother lives and cousins, and we were just enjoying our time there. A distillery just opened up maybe 3 months prior, and they had just your usual like just getting started kind of products. A lot of schnapps is made from fruits, which are rampant. I mean, there are so many distilleries making like traditional German schnapps, which are distilled from like whatever the fruit is that's kind of seasonally ripe at the time. And then he had a Bierschnapps, or like, was zum Teufel ist ein Bierschnapps? We tried it out. It was basically they would take runoff beer from the trade because as you guys know, because you're beer guys and I'm not, but in Germany there isn't a huge variety, but everything is awesome and it's usually very specific to a town or region. So you go to like all the taverns, all the bars, all the Kneipen or whatever in those areas, and there's like one draft, maybe two drafts. There might be a lager, a Helles, and a Pils, and that's it. So they would basically just kind of capture the runoff and redistill into a beer schnapps. It was just this really unique, delicious, clear distilled spirit, and it was very, very kind of concentrated in some of those delicious beer flavors. And we're like, we have to figure out how to do this one day, but we just didn't have any access to runoff. And the first brewery we worked with was Tuckahoe. We become very close with them. And I'm not saying they screw up a lot of beer, and I hope no one from Tuckahoe works in, right? I'm looking for the live stream coming in. So, but we took one of their beers.
Rob Callahan calling me on the phone right now.
Is that right? Rob listens too? I had no idea. So we distilled it, and it was first pass. It was a Twyla. It was a blueberry. Guy, was a saison.
Yeah,
it was a blueberry sour.
Blueberry sour table beer.
And it was a delicious beer, but I say to this day, and I give absolute kind of credit and props and love to my brother Eric. This is one of the first and best things that we ever made on that still. And I think we yielded 5 liters, and there's only one bottle in existence, and it happens to be in Guy's house right now. And he pulled it out like 2 weeks ago. We were sitting around the fire, and damned if it wasn't like as good, if not better, than the first time we tried it. And it was just like this delicious product, like virtually unheard of, and we're like, we've got to figure out ways of doing more of this.
So for those of you not familiar, the kind of the weird thing about this is we had a table beer at I want to say 3.7, 3.8%. So out of 84 gallons, we were able to procure 5 liters of spirit. So this is not a product we can make by buying beer. We charge like $1,000 a bottle to buy 84.
Yeah, and if you guys want to pay for it, we'll make it all day long, but I don't think there's a market for that one yet.
But it was the particular one Mark's talking about with Eric. It was absolutely amazing, but extremely limited in size. That not even something we could go to market with. And it kind of where we're headed and what Mike was talking about with out of code beer. It's not bad beer. It's just not in code. So we're trying to take a negative about that and turn it into a positive.
You know, it's funny. I had a lot of people text me like, do you know, how do I get a hold of Guy or Mark? Because I have beer that I need to get rid of. And
that they can get a hold of us.
You can text, email, or call Guy all day and all night long. He'll take all the information.
So, you know, we talk about synergy between Little Water and the breweries. And, you know, you guys have done given out a lot of barrels. You know, we've done stuff with the Ton Tavern. You guys did.
Wait. And don't text, email, or call Guy about whether we have any barrels available for you. We have no barrels available right now. We're actually using them to make whiskey. That's how we stay in business.
They're all coming to me, Mark.
Amen.
Okay, perfect.
But the synergy that you guys have has turned into relationships with a lot of breweries. And Mike has a really cool concept that we're all working on as a group that you guys have actually jumped in on. That's kind of born of this bracket madness that Brian Kiefer put together. So Mike, I think let's talk. There's been a lot of beers that are out there for raising money. So Altogether, which Mike participated in, has benefited Brewery Strong amazingly. We've been able to give out almost $20,000 to people in the brewery, bar, restaurant, distillery business. We want to do more, and money keeps coming in, and this community is absolutely amazing. Next week, I'm going to have the board members on here. We're going to talk about it. I don't want to give it away, but we are well beyond where we thought we would be from the amazing contributions of our breweries, our distilleries, our restaurants, and all the people out there that have supported us. So that's one thing. So we started talking about this collaboration amongst all the breweries, and Mike kind of spearheaded that. So Mike, take it over from here, and let's talk a little bit about what we're putting together, what you're putting together here.
Yeah, so we kind of started with the awesome group that Brian put together with this March Madness type bracket, and you know, I talked to a lot of brewery owners and distillery owners and various people in the industry, and we all felt strongly that this was our lifeline. This is what kept South Jersey beer, spirits, wine, everything relevant. And, you know, one of those sleepless nights, you know, worrying about your business, you kind of come up with this idea, well, these people are helping us. You know, they are what's making our dreams viable. And how do we give back to them once this passes? And it kind of came to me one night, like, we should all do a beer together. You know, we've done this all together, which a lot of the South Jersey breweries did, and I commend them on that and the amount of money that we've been able to raise for the industry. But what if we all get together under one roof? You know, what kind of power can we bring to bear with the might of small and big and medium-sized breweries in South Jersey? And I put a couple feelers out to a couple close friends, and everybody's like, yes, let me know how I can be involved, how I can help. And it's born, I think there was 36 breweries in the bracket, and I think we're pretty darn close to securing everybody being involved with this collab. So there will be a forthcoming beer. I can't tell you what it's going to be because we haven't settled on that yet. But it will be a beer brewed by my goal is every single brewery in the bracket.
And I think it's going to happen. And then it got a little bit more involved.
It did. So there's still sleepless nights, like, you know, and it was actually a night after I was drinking Bierbuddies. I'm like, this is delicious. And, you know, how it plays with beer. And if you guys haven't had the chance to talk to Mark or Guy about what Bierbuddies is and how best to enjoy it, I really encourage you to reach out to them because, you know, if you drink it, it's just a spirit and it's its own beast and it tastes great. But when you learn from them about how to interact it with beer, and you can see Mark doing it there, it becomes a whole other being and it's a really cool entity. And, you know, after talking with other breweries about how we're going to have extra beer and out of code beer, it kind of dawned on me at like 2 a.m. one night, this could be a beer buddies. You know, we could do a beer buddies with everybody's beer and not only present a beer for everybody to say thank you, but a beer with a spirit that now we've basically got 3 different entities to present to you and say, thank you. You know, from the community that works hard every day to create these different experiences for you. Thank you in our time of need for coming out, supporting us, and making sure we're able to continue to give to local charities and local organizations and all these different things, and get to live out our dream of just being creative and coming up with these different concoctions for you. So I was so excited when I talked to Mark, and he was immediately on board. He's like, yes, how do we do it? How do we make it happen? How much can we do? And it's kind of rolled from there, and we're super excited about it. You know, we're looking for the right time to do it, when we can all get together to come together to brew the beer and present the adequate beer to Mark. But the goal is really to come out with a beer and a spirit that are around the same timeline. So we can partner with some of our breweries, you know, some of our restaurants and liquor stores to have both offerings available together. So not only the beer that the breweries got together to create, but this awesome spirit that was created from the beer from all these breweries. And it's just really special to me. I think it's awesome.
It is. Tom and I have been working on a lot of these collaborations, and the Black is Beautiful collaboration is out right now, which is an awesome idea. And I know that you're participating. I know Jason at Icarus is participating. Montclair's participating. I'm sure there's many, many more. And this was just really announced not too long ago. So it's awesome to see. So I'm guessing this will be a later in the summer kind of thing, you know, so can continue this goodwill throughout the industry.
Yeah, and you know, the best part about Black is Beautiful is the fact that, you know, we've done this big conglomerate collaboration. It was an IPA, and now one that's a stout, and it gives us the freedom as you know, 30 or 40 breweries working together. What can we do that's different? What can we do to separate New Jersey culture and make a truly New Jersey beer that represents, you know, what all of our breweries stand for? And you know, challenges like that are fun for us as brewers. It lets us explore new ingredients, new processes, new techniques, and really pool all of our thought processes and our minds together, and hopefully it manifests in something really enjoyable we get to share with everybody.
Yeah. Tom, we get to talk about a lot of this stuff, and one of the things that we are always just blown away by is that Tom and I are part of this community for what we do. Just the amazing amount of synergy and the cooperation. It is the weirdest thing. And Guy, you've been on both ends with the beer and with the distilled spirits. I can't imagine working at Lowe's and calling Home Depot and saying, "Hey guys, we need a pound of Sacrete because we're out. Can we come down and borrow that today so we can sell to our people?" It's amazing, right?
And I think the key to that is that we've always kind of like, and breweries and you know, distilleries, like my competition is not Trainwreck Distillery. My competition is not Naughty Spirits or our local distilleries. Let's be honest, we're all in this together against Tito's, and we're all in this together against Jim Beam. Like, if we start picking each other off, that's what they want. Like, high tide floats all ships, and I'm sure Mike can attest to that. Is that like if they like start going at each other and not working together, you're doing exactly what big beer wants you to do.
Exactly. And big spirits. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, big spirits. It's spirits outsell beer like exponentially across the board. So I mean, you know, it's a huge market. I do have a quick question. Dave Martin. Dave Martin's one of our guys. He works over there for Vince at what the heck am I talking about here? Vince over at in Mount Holly. Dave, Village Idiot. Is there any other kind of spirit you can make by distilling beer? Is there anything else out there?
I'll let Mark do that.
It's funny how spirits are designed, or defined rather. I mean, so as soon as it goes in a barrel and it's distilled from grain, it's essentially a whiskey. So you can make, you know, according to the TTB sort of labeling kind of guidelines or regulations, you can make a whiskey as long as you age in barrel for a certain period of time. But you know, what's a schnapps spelled the way, you know, actually, I'm sorry. We worked for about 18 months to get this thing approved, and it was originally called Bierschnapps, and then we gave up. We just couldn't fight with the TTB any longer. We said, "It's Bierbuddies. We accept that?" And they're like, "Sure." So now it's Bierbuddies. And actually, I like it a lot better because we're making a lot of buddies in the process. It definitely resonates more than beer schnapps. But a schnapps is a clear distilled spirit, whether it's made from fruit, from grain, from grape must, like a grappa. Anything that's aged in barrel is a whiskey. So what else can you make from that? That's about it. Schnapps and whiskey. I can't think of too many more things. But if you don't mind, let me just jump back to the last point.
Sure.
Like I have a really good friend who's a business owner, and he's sort of been a mentor for me because he launched his own business like probably 10 years before we launched Little Water. And he works his ass off, just like Mike does, just like Guy does, just like Tom does, just like John does, just like everyone in the industry does. You're working like way more than you ever imagined. And he told me, he's like, but the one thing that's really awesome about opening your own business is you can choose whether or not to work with assholes. You can decide if this guy's an asshole, I'm not going to work with him. And the best, most like kind of rewarding thing about what we do in this facility and this industry is we get to work with awesome people. We get to like, and we don't have to find them. They're right there. Guys like Mike and everyone else that we've worked with in this industry, it's just so like ridiculously fun because we're all doing the same thing. We're just busting our ass. We're grinding it out day and night. And we see what each other's doing, but we're pursuing a passion. And we can come together and do something like this, you know, especially for a cause that's much greater than ourselves. It makes the whole damn grind much more worthwhile.
You guys,
Mike,
everybody cheers for everybody. That's great. Everybody cheers for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Cheers, guys.
So before we're going to wrap it up. So let's talk turkey. So if I want to get some Little Water spirits, guys, Zompa, what are the best ways for me to do that right now?
Go on our website, look to see all our retail partners in your town. We're all over South Jersey where better spirits are carried.
Yeah, and ask for it. If you don't see it at your local liquor store, ask for it. That is the best way to get something on the shelf is to ask for it. And guys, this stuff is made in our backyard. It is quality liquor. It's great. I drink it all the time. We love what they do for the community. And it's not like we're asking you to drink bad stuff. They make great product and it's made locally. Please look for it and seek it out. Mike, if we want to get some beer from 3's, what's the best way to do that right now?
I would say the same thing. Check out our website. We're in curbside, and we're doing delivery to different areas every weekend, every day. And ask your local liquor stores. We're happy to send stuff through distribution throughout the state of New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania. So reach out to us. If you can't find it, I think the best thing to do is email the brewery, the distillery that you're looking for. We're happy to get stuff to where our customers are. You just have to tell us where you are sometimes.
Yeah, and guys, so this has been an unprecedented time, and
crazy.
The amount of support that the community has shown, not just breweries and distilleries, but each other has been amazing. What if we could just keep this going a little bit, and when this is all over, remember, how hard Guy worked, and how hard Mark worked, how hard Mike worked to get you their product. And Mike, it's not like these guys are doing this to build a mansion. They're doing this to pay their employees. They're doing it to keep the lights on. They're doing it to make sure they don't have to lay everybody off they're trying to keep things moving. And I don't think people realize that. I mean, this is a sweat equity business.
It really is, John. I mean, if you look, there's some awesome groups that have been set up doing it. First one. But we're trying to not lay staff off, and when we are, it's begrudgingly, and they're volunteering to come in and help us, and they want to know how soon can they come back to work, how soon can they interact with our customers, how soon can they be involved, and it's a tough life right now. It certainly is, but it's what we all chose. We all could be doing something else, but we're getting to live out our dream, and we just can't thank people enough for supporting us in doing that.
And I would also say, if you work at a brewery, bar, restaurant that serves craft beverages here in New Jersey, and you are not working, go to brewerystrong.org, fill out the form. We want to give you money. We want to help you during this time of need. So please go there, brewerystrong.org. Anybody in the industry, don't be shy.
Yeah, don't feel like there's people more in need, guys. Like, seriously, we all raise this money for you. If you're involved in the community, please go apply.
fully funded by this industry. So please stop by and say, fill out the form. Don't feel bad about it. We want to give you that money. Guys, this was a great show. Thanks so much for coming on. It was great to have a double team from Little Water.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that out loud, but thanks, guys. It was great to do. I'm sorry, Tom.
It's the old fashioned.
It's the whiskey talking. Mike Geller, as always. Guys,
Thank you, John.
Thanks for coming out. Next week, we're going to have the board from Brewery Strong on here. We're going to have Fun Bobby and Alexis and Matt Ziegler and Cindy to talk about where we are with that. And so stop by and see us next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. So cheers, guys. Have a great night.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Great job, Tom.